Hi Trenton, how you doing? All right, great ideas for your hammer. Yeah, these are clever. Good job. Okay, so now listen, I want you to go ahead and I'm going to describe this kind of how to set this up. And if you've looked at some of the other videos in this thread, this will all sound familiar. And I recommend that you watch as many videos in this thread as possible. You're guaranteed to get many comments that are applicable to your own work. So I highly recommend you do that. But at any rate, when you do, you're going to find this. I keep going over this a lot. Before I go over this kind of preface, this kind of summary of a good solid linear narrative and the components expected for a good linear narrative, I want to go ahead and say that you choose whatever direction you feel has the most potential. I know I have an idea of what I feel is the strongest. I think the guacamole would be the strongest. The guacamole and the Hamilton plant of flour. I think those would be interesting. Um, so basically, the idea here, and the reason I find these have the most potential is I think they have the highest propensity of success for setting up this as a linear narrative, whereby you introduce the setting, the characters, introduce the problem, introduce a potential solution and the final solution, and implement that solution, and all doing so in an illustrative process, right? So I think that, so for example, what I want to do is I want to show you this linear narrative, and I'm going to use this example here because it's such a great example of storytelling. So basically, here are the components of effective linear narrative, okay? We have introduce the setting and introduce the characters right here, okay? And then we have introduce the problem or conflict right here, okay? Introduce the potential solution right here. Introduce the eureka or the aha moment where you come up with the final solution right here. Then we have introduce the chosen solution right here. Implementation of the chosen solution right here. Execution of the final solution right here, and then the final outcome. So that's why this is such a fantastic example, is because it's just such a wonderful, it has all the components of good storytelling. So in these 12 frames. And I do recommend 12 frames in your work. I think that's enough that you'll be complete. It's any less and you may not be complete. You may lose some of the thought process for the viewer, I'm saying. And then any more than that, you risk losing the viewer. So I think 10 to 12 is perfect. I think 12 is a great number for a number of frames in your linear narrative. Okay, so that said, choose the direction you feel has the most potential. Start planning out your narrative. How are you going to execute this? How are you going to tell the story with those components of linear narrative? And then concentrate on the illustrative technique. All right, so great job. As I said, choose the direction you feel has the most potential, and we'll take it from there. All right, thanks, Trenton.